Engels is absent. Carter?
Here.
Dubravik?
Here.
Isle?
Here.
Snyder?
Here.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for today?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the August 14th, 2023 meeting?
A motion.
Okay.
Yeah, a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
They are approved.
Thank you.
Next item, public comments, except for the comments on public hearings and work applications. I see none. Item 5 is new business. We have a construction application for installation of a front deck and back stairs at 501 East Cass Street by Evan Stieg of Habitat for Humanity. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
How you doing, Evan? Good. How are you?
Good.
I'll go ahead and get started here. Let me pull up just a couple different diagrams that will be pertinent to what we're doing. So I'm just going to get to some of those real quick. I included his work application here, so. So this application is by Evan Stieg of Habitat for Humanity. He's applying on behalf of the owners, Samantha and Daniel Dassence, to install in the front a 7-foot by 9.5-foot treated lumber deck over top of the existing concrete porch. And in the rear of the yard, it's a 5-foot by 4-foot landing with steps as well, which will also have railings. This is the front of the home there. So as you can see through some of these pictures that I included, the concrete is not level. It's not the same level steps as you go from one to the next step. And so something needs to be done for improving the steps. These ones are really, you can see the different height in those stairs there. So these homeowners had applied to the city's residential facade grant program that is a partnership between the City of Cadillac and Wexford Habitat for Humanity. It's funded through a grant from Consumers Energy. And so the city, through that grant, is actually paying for 50% of the improvements to the home. So their big need is to have level steps in and out of the house and to have railings for ease of access to be able to get in and out of their home. The site is non-contributing. So you can see I did include at the back of your packet a copy of their historical assessment as well. Evan, did you have anything else that you wanted to include? I do have a picture of the color that it will be here for you. So if you have any other comments or anything I missed, you can share that.
They're basically extending it a little bit past. They wanted it a little bit bigger, but basically overlaying wood over top the concrete so they can, so it's be like a no-step entry.
Okay.
Into the house.
That's just for the back of the house, right?
No, that's for the front end.
Yeah.
For the back, it's just like, as you can see, it's like 2 steps. You can't hardly get in there. The guy has a cane, he's kind of handicapped a little bit. Or a walker, and yeah, that door is not really usable, as you can tell looking at it, so I'm just gonna build a little bit bigger platform and a step, or 2 steps.
Like a landing so he has room with his walker.
Just so you can
Okay.
get the door open and get in there, basically. So.
Any comments, questions?
It's gonna look bad. It just is. We're about aesthetics, this commission, but it's also a non-contributing structure, you know?
Yeah.
I'd rather it be redone in cement and leveled and done properly. I mean, 'cause everything else around it is cement, you know? But that's obviously more expensive for them. Just saying.
the front porch, there's basically gonna be a deck that's built over top of that?
Yeah, it's just gonna extend over a little bit, so you're not gonna see anything there. Yeah, that's what they wanted, so.
Normally we don't do decks in
No,
the
we
historical
don't.
district, right?
No, we don't. Not usually, but, I mean, it's non-contributing.
Non-contributing,
It's all,
yeah.
I mean, to me, it'd be cobbling it more than it is, you know, personally, but the cement for the style of the home doesn't look bad, but you start putting a wood deck and it's extending past, and it's not the usual
It'll look a little hodgepodge.
hodgepodge, yeah.
I have a question. So the deck over that main level of cement
Yeah.
is going to extend, it looks like 2.5 feet out towards the road.
Yeah.
Okay, and then is there gonna be anything, an additional, like a roof or shed roof that you're, nothing on top?
No.
Nothing on top, okay. And then,
So part of the deck is gonna be partially exposed.
sure,
Yeah.
right, because it's gonna hang
Yeah.
over, like out in front.
Yep.
So, and there's no, are there any steps? Are you trying to avoid steps? Are there gonna be any steps there on that?
There will be steps.
Or is it, it's not gonna be a ramp then?
But it'll
There's
be
not enough room
flat
for a
into
ramp.
entrance to the house. So when you walk out the house, it'll be no step until you go down
Okay.
the next two.
I would have to add a step, because I don't wanna make it hard for them to get in.
Sure, I understand, yeah.
So.
Is this
Okay.
an issue with the owners or the residents having problems with getting in and out of the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause if this is a facade grant, I mean, it's not really improving the
No.
facial
No.
facade. That would be my only concern.
And you also want a little spot on, to be able to sit out there. Right now, you can't really do much with that porch. That was the whole purpose of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our role, we're just giving you commentary. Our role really isn't to, with a non-contributing structure, to, I mean, we can just comment with the city's dollars being spent on it, that it's ironically not much, or it's not an improvement to the facade. I actually wonder, and I assume it's because these people applied for it, but I think about the houses, which I think are contributing structures, they might be, with the porches that are actually falling down.
Yeah.
And
they're
wonder
welcome to
why-
apply as
Why
well,
on
yeah.
earth, why on earth are we
For one that
Why was that a?
Doing-
frankly doesn't have half
doing
the
work to
problems
a
as half
house
the other
that-
houses,
Yeah, yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me, but it's not within our purview.
Well, it kind of is, to make sure it's not
Well,
more hodgepodgey, you know? I don't know.
What do you guys think?
Do we have any legislation here?
I don't
Or
know,
like
that's,
any
I
power
guess
to-
that's,
Yeah, it is non-contributing.
Non-contributing comes before us is for us to make sure it is not more hodgepodged.
yeah, it's,
You
I
know.
mean, it would be how it affects the
Yeah.
streetscape.
So the back one, no one would see, but the front people would.
Right.
So you would be, on that extension coming out 2.5 feet, those dark squares are gonna be probably post. Is there, did I miss is there railing that's gonna be put on?
Yeah, probably would have to put some sort of railing up.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
One thing that we had discussed with the railing is that, although it'll cost a little bit more money, could do like a white vinyl to match the white post that's already there, which would maybe be a little more aesthetic and match the white throughout. So it would be wood steps, but the railing would all be white vinyl.
That's even more hodgepodge, because you've got stone facing meeting concrete, which
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
relatively well together, and now you're going to a raw wood look unless they
Right.
stain it a
You could do
color.
wood posts too. I mean,
Yeah,
there's-
we had talked about both options with the stone face, having the rustic face with the wood.
I mean, I think that if there is a railing, it's not gonna be,
It would pull it
I
together.
mean, it kind of puts it together, right? Because, I mean, you see those muttons and the mullions and the windows, the one column
Yeah.
there, it might not look so bad if it's, you know, with the like white uprights. You know, I'm saying uprights, then, you know, and then it would have, I mean, it would add a few lines to it. It would add a few lines. I mean, I don't think it would.
cement and just extend the slab in cement, that would be far less noticeable, you know?
That would be more of an improvement. I mean, I don't know what the cost issue is.
Yeah, it would be much more expensive, and it'd be a project that Habitat wouldn't be able to accomplish for them, so they would not be able to use the grant for that project.
Is that because of a dollar limitation from Habitat, or?
And they don't do concrete work. You know, they're not masons.
Yeah, I
We
don't
we
do
would need
concrete.
somebody that can
That's
pour
not-
concrete.
that's not my-
I mean, I guess, so obviously the back, and especially with it being, I can tell from the back that's an egress issue, or it's an issue with being able to use that back door, and that, there's no issue from our perspective, I think, with that. But looking at city dollars being spent, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not-
I disagree. I mean, I don't think it's, you know, like even in the back, if it's for egress, if it's for safety, this man has a walker.
Well, I mean,
You
he's,
know, he
the
needs-
back, but the back, first of all, you can't
Right,
see
no one's
it.
gonna see the back.
And it's to help, because there's no
But
deck.
you're putting steps back.
But
So
there's
why are you
no-
putting steps if you've got, versus like a ramp or something?
Because there's
I
no
don't know.
deck, and so
Yeah.
it makes it hard to get in and out. I mean, we had
Yeah,
that issue with our
without a
back
platform,
stairs.
there's not really.
Right.
Do they use the front door often? I mean, the garage is probably in the back, right?
I would,
Garage is in the front.
yeah, I would.
Oh, it's in the front? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's to the right.
Yeah, this is in the front door, so I would imagine.
It's probably
that
garage
this is
door.
their entry door, and the back is just for using
Just,
your.
right, so they probably don't use that one. Okay.
Is it the Habitat that approves these grants, or does it go in front of? a
Goes
different
before
board?
both the city and the Habitat.
So
There's
the
like a
city's-
scoring mechanism that we do for all of them.
Okay.
So the city approved this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, my concern is if we put a deck in the front of this, it opens a
The
can of
door for
worms
everything else in the
everything else.
district, that's right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think that we can approve that,
Mm.
because it changes the future rules for everybody else,
Mhm.
doesn't it?
Well, I guess I want to know, I mean, Abigail, you may have to research this. On a non-contributing structure, what's the difference in the way we approach analyzing the addition of a deck?
Right. I'll probably have to look
We
at
need to look at that.
And
that further.
Because we will
Also,
have pushback
didn't
on
we-
that. Others have tried to do decks before, and
yeah, I
we
was gonna
said,
say, didn't we allow
no, you
something
had a
down the
covered
hill
porch, you
between
know.
this and your home?
Yeah, but I think that was it a porch though?
It was a
Was that
deck
there?
in the front. I
Oh, it was a
remember.
deck in the front,
There was
yeah.
a deck in the
I
front
remember
that we
that.
did.
On that house behind yours.
Well,
Across
no,
from
it's
you.
in between this house going down
That's
Cass
yeah, it's on
Street,
Cass.
between that and John's home.
So if it didn't extend out the extra 2 feet, would you not consider it a deck? It would just be covering the porch.
Yeah,
So if they change the structure just to cover what's
and
existing,
then the porch boards would need to be porch boards instead of deck boards,
Right.
right? Wouldn't that be the difference?
okay.
I guess, more the aesthetic.
Does that make sense as a bill? I don't know what the difference between porch boards and deck boards are.
Yeah, it's just wood treated lumber, so I mean, they can stain it whatever color they want.
It's also not gonna last well over cement, cause the cement holds a lot of moisture and wicking, even though it's treated, it's still gonna give them problems
Mm-hmm.
more down the road.
It's gonna be built up to be flat, so it's not gonna be sitting right on the cement.
I'm saying the nature of cement though, is it,
Right.
there's a lot of moisture that it holds. I don't know, yeah, I guess it depends on how high up off of it is, but,
Could we approve the back and then table this until we
yeah.
find out about?
If they
I
really
don't know
want a
from the
deck,
back.
I mean, I think we do need to know, with it being non-contributing, I don't know off the top of my head what the difference is in how we analyze it.
And I don't.
And it may not be, if it's not in the city's guidelines, then you'll have to look at the Secretary of Interior and Michigan's guidelines.
Historic preservation guidelines, yeah.
You're right, I think we did approve the porch slash.
I
deck.
don't
The
remember. That must have been
railing and
before
everything,
me.
it was like early on. Do you remember, Gwen? It was, like, if you can imagine John's house, Doug Brown's house, and probably about 5 homes up. There are those 2 homes that are,
I don't remember that.
somebody did
It's
a
like 2
deck with
past back
railing
doors.
But
and,
did they extend it, or what did they do?
they changed the railing on it, I swear it did.
Seems like whatever they did, though, there was railing, there were posts, so
They
it was
wanted
a
to change
covered
something.
porch versus a deck, you know what I mean? So even if you
I think
use
it's covered.
deck
It's not
boards or,
covered.
No, it's
This
not.
was an exposed porch out
Uh-huh.
towards Cass Street,
yeah, I don't remember that.
kind of
I don't
wrapped
disagree
around.
with what you're saying, but,
Can you look at that, Abigail, and then also look at the history, if this commission has addressed?
Approved other porches. So I guess, yeah, that was my one question of clarification between you guys of what the difference between a porch versus the deck is.
Well, a
Is
porch
just
would
what's
be the-
extending.
Yeah, the porch would be the existing, what you see right there as a porch. A deck is something that's going to jut out further than this
Without a
existing, yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Okay.
platform, no covering.
yeah.
If I recall right, didn't this used to have a ramp in front of it, like a metal ramp, before they purchased it? Can't
I
remember.
remember one house along somewhere,
It might not have been this house. But we did approve something else on this house a couple years ago. Can't remember what it was. Maybe it was those windows.
maybe.
Okay.
It's a nice
So-
neat ramp,
Mhm.
but, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to this one.
Okay, so.
So you want more information on non-contributing and what other porch designs have been approved?
Basically precedent mostly for non-contributing and for contributing, just to give
Well,
us
we
some
wouldn't
history.
put a deck on a contributing, that'd be an absolute no-go.
Well, I
Yeah.
wanna
You
make
know,
sure
on the
with-
front.
And I think
What
the other
they're
home
saying
was
is they
not
think there
contributing
was,
either, cause
so-
it's very,
I wanna make sure we
It-
didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Or
I
if we
don't know.
did, understanding what happened.
Mhm. It's about
Yeah.
5 to the right of Doug, huh?
I would say it's up the hill from Doug's, about 5 or
East.
6 homes.
Was it a deck or was it the porch?
If
It
it was
was
that
like the
curved one,
deck.
that-
It wasn't a porch,
Was it an
it was
existing,
exposed.
but wasn't it existing deck?
Part of it was existing,
Yeah.
that may have been why, if it was already kinda hodgepodged, you
it
know
was
what I
like
mean?
one of these places, I think.
And maybe just pull the minutes from that meeting
Okay.
where it was discussed.
So did you guys want to make a motion to approve the back? Or did you not want to do that tonight?
I think we could, I mean, I don't have a problem with the back.
Yeah. I don't know.
It might have
I'll make
been
a
this
motion to
house
approve
here,
that.
537 or 4,
It's not that one. It's the white one.
up the hill. Oh, that one maybe?
Yep, right there.
Yeah, it was this
There's the
one,
porch.
and I don't think it was contributing, maybe.
I think you redid that porch or something.
I can give you the address if
I
I
don't
look at
remember
this.
This might have been before I was on the board, or on the commission.
I don't remember that either. I wasn't on when that was, I wasn't here on the whole time, Mark.
It's all my fault.
But it gives me a reference point to go look and see what was approved or what the contingencies were on that to set a
We got all the
precedence.
Caps on the.
Yeah, I have no memory.
Yeah.
At the back.
All right, as to the back,
A motion to approve the back.
do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
All in
To do the
favor?
back.
Aye.
All opposed? So the back can go forward.
Okay.
And then we'll get more information if they still want to proceed on the front. I mean, maybe take some of the comments back to them and see if they would want, even if they would want to do what we are suggesting, which is to not extend out a deck.
Just to go, directly keep it the same, basically.
Same footprint.
Yeah. I think that's what I originally planned on, but when we went back there, they're like,
I'm
Make it
sorry.
bigger. We originally planned to keep it the same size, and then they asked for it to be a little bit bigger
Oh.
when Evans
Yeah.
visited the site.
My vote on bigger would be no. I'll tell you that right now, if it's in front, no matter what the product. Unless it was covered and then you're talking about changing the roof line and posts and blah, blah,
oh, we're
blah.
not, yeah, not
So,
doing that.
but I'm only one vote, you know? I'm
Evan,
just saying, let you know where I stand.
So-
Back on fine, but not on the front.
So Evan, if they just covered just the existing porch,
Mhm.
Yeah,
like, would they need railings at that point? Like, what is the code as far as like the distance from?
technically, no.
Okay.
I think it's like 2 feet.
Okay.
It's required, but I mean, it's more of a preference thing at this point,
Okay.
so, but it's not required.
So not by code. Yeah, not required by code. If we just put if they just put wood over the front, which isn't preferred, but might be the only option.
Mhm.
Is it really that
Okay.
bad? The front?
Frankly, it looks fine to me, as far as
The
the
front
style of the
gate,
Yeah,
home.
is it really that bad? I mean, what's really wrong with it?
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
I think
really
it's just
handicap
having that,
accessible.
they want that handicap accessibility so that when they come right out the door, he doesn't have to step down right
It
away.
looks like a big step.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
you're,
what I had to
okay,
say.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a big step out the door to the concrete.
All right.
So I think they're thinking if we build it up and then I can just go down the steps to
Right.
to the sidewalk, that would be easier for him.
Yes, and it would be.
Yeah.
The only issue is.
It's just
though,
how do you
would
do
be
put a bunch
exposed
more
to the weather,
concrete?
the snow, the ice, the part
Mhm.
that doesn't
He's
have
still
a.
doing.
That's
stuff
not
with
covered.
ice.
It's, they'll regret that part.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
will regret it. It's
especially
gonna be a mess.
4 or
It'll all
5
drip
months.
right there and then you're stepping right on
It's
ice
just gonna be a lot
before
of
you step
maintenance
down.
And it's not gonna last and, yeah.
They're better off with what they have. That's a much better product than, long-term for them than. And that one doesn't, as far as evenness, that
So it'll be-
doesn't look as wonky as the back
As the
steps.
back.
I totally see how they can't get out the back, but.
Mhm. I mean, I see the difficulty of having your first step out the front door down. That's not,
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's to code.
So then there would be two
Oh, the
steps,
back.
right?
That address might be 441,
Well, this. either
the one that
way.
we did do a deck
Okay.
like years ago. It's funny you all
But again, it'd be grandfathered in.
don't remember.
Yeah, well, we need to look at that. All right, so we'll table this.
Yeah, I
pending-
think it gives us good guidance too if we need to bring back a different application
Yeah.
too for the board, so.
The other alternative that we could consider today would be just to keep the same footprint and then allow them to put 2 wooden steps in front and then that way we wouldn't have to meet again.
Mm-hmm. I'd be okay with that, I guess.
Yeah,
So overlay wooden
Just enough room for a
steps.
chair up
Yeah,
there,
without
4.5
extending it,
feet.
and then it would be okay to overlay it, like, create a wood covered porch there.
in
And
other
then-
words, keep the whole thing inside the existing footprint of the.
And just overlay the porch boards
Right.
and do 2 wooden steps down. You guys
Yeah.
would approve today.
Correct.
Well, I can see the
Well, if you wanna-
ability,
Can make that motion.
the
Yeah.
difficulty of getting in and out the front door if there's no, if your first
Yeah.
step is down,
Yeah.
it's not safe.
Well, neither are the other two though, and there's no hand railing and they've lived with it like that. How long have they been there?
2 years, 2 or 3 years probably.
You know, not that it's preferable, but I would be
Less than
thinking a
5.
handrail's more important than, you know what I mean? If you can't do the one step coming out the door, then you surely need handrails going down whatever other steps you create. If it's an accessibility, if that's the reason we're allowing it.
Yeah, it's just.
Cause that's the
it's
only
that
thing I would
even-
give on is that, oh, I'm too, having too hard of a time coming in and out of
How
my
would you,
home.
well, see, okay, so I have experience with this because this is
Mhm.
what happened to our back
Yeah,
deck when
yeah.
they
You
built
feel
it.
like you're
And
gonna
they,
fall out,
there was,
yeah.
well, the first step out the door was down on a step and it
Mhm.
was stupid and it made it to the point that we didn't even use that door.
Didn't even use it.
And that's the same situation where you're coming out
Mhm.
the door and your first step is down, so I understand what their issue is, and it's
Mhm.
not a handrail issue. It's because you've gotta reach out to grab the handrail and you're
Mhm.
still, you still have the
Anyway,
same
yeah.
issue.
Well, I
And
think
you-
the person has a walker too, right?
Right,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they're not gonna use a handrail.
So I agree with making, that I can understand why they wanna make a change where they come out and
A little more
step on
user-friendly.
something level before they
Mhm.
start going down the steps. I understand that.
Yeah. Well, if they're older, need walkers, they may have a hard time seeing too, if they're like with trifocals or bifocals or something, that can mess with your depth perception too. So,
It's just safer.
Yeah.
So I understand that. So if that's something they wanna do is just
stick with the current.
work
Footprint.
within the existing footprint to create a more accessible entry.
Okay, I can reach out to them and see.
Yeah.
The other
I
thing.
mean, I know the one guy isn't gonna be happy, but, you know.
And he is, and this is being paid by Habitat in the city, so he's not putting any money into it either.
They're putting
Yeah,
50%.
well, they're- Yeah, right.
50%.
Yeah, they're putting in
Matching,
50%.
okay.
We only pay up to a certain amount as well, so
Mhm.
they're paying for 50%. We don't pay for the whole project.
So Habitat is paying how much?
The grant's paying 50%.
Which, the Habitat grant?
It was a consumer's energy grant that we
So
received.
Consumers is paying 50%, and then the homeowner's paying 50%.
Correct.
So then what is Habitat?
They're doing the work.
Oh, so you're offering labor is what y'all
Yeah.
are doing. So you're donating labor. Is that how that
Yeah.
works?
Yep. So we reimburse them a certain amount, but not what you would pay
Yeah.
a contractor. They give
We
us
are
a
covering
discounted,
stuff.
Habitat gives us a discounted rate for supplies and labor
Mm.
to do all of the projects, to make them more manageable for homeowners. So other people down the road are welcome to
Right.
apply, because hopefully the city is going to approve giving us a budget for the next couple of years to continue doing this in the community, so,
Yeah, it's a nice benefit.
Mhm.
I think
for sure.
people really don't know about it.
yeah.
Okay, the one caveat I have is if we did do that patio thing, I'm sorry, the platform, whatever's already there, the porch that's there, if you stayed within the footprint, it's now raising up like 5 inches, right?
You'll need another step.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need 3 steps, not 2.
It'll be
Yep.
3 steps
Right.
down.
So then we would wanna approve 3 steps, not 2, if we're gonna do, if we approve that.
Right.
Right, but see, I think what we have to, because that's gonna, doesn't 3 steps require a handrail?
Well, I think that's what they need anyways, a
I
handrail.
think that's what they wanted anyway.
That would work.
Would you guys approve a
I'm not
handrail? I know
sure.
you were having troubles with, like, you didn't want the spindles.
I'm having trouble visualizing it, I guess, with how it looks. Would it be inside the post? Is that where you would put the handrail?
Would it be inside the,
It'd probably have to be on
Post
the
there.
outside of the concrete, to go into the ground. You'd have to put.
but the concrete's the same width as the sidewalk, so I think that's where the handrails would be, is
You'd
the
have
width
to
of,
put
like,
another
the sidewalk.
You'd have to put basically 4 posts for the handrail.
Maybe
Could
I
you not
didn't-
just put a handrail on one side?
You could do that too, just one side.
So
Are-
you're saying that
That's
we
up to code,
you
yeah.
pour concrete, put like a 4x4 here, 4x4 here,
Yeah.
and just angle it down. This would be wood here, and there'd be a step here, and over that one, another step here. Is that basically what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Like one post would have to go up against the porch, the other one would have to be at the, the last step.
Yeah.
Yeah, out there,
Okay.
yeah.
And then it'd be at an angle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to be clear, raising the footprint that's there with the wood, we're not high enough where they're gonna have to have a railing, like, on the sides.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that like 3 feet, 2 feet?
That's what Evan was saying. He's saying he doesn't think that he needs it.
Okay.
Oh, what was that?
If like, putting the wood on top of that footprint of that big cement pad, that's 4.5 feet by 9 or whatever, that doesn't raise it more than what it would be required to put railing all the way around.
I don't think so.
Okay.
The builder inspector told me, as long as it's under 24 inches, they don't require it, doesn't mean they don't recommend it.
That could easily be over 24
Yeah,
though.
that's probably 24.
Yeah.
I guess I'll make a motion to keep the same footprint for the overlayment, and then the 2 steps going down and a handrail.
Would we say 3 steps going down though?
Yeah, but it would be
Ooh, 2 steps.
2 steps
because
total, because
two,
the third is actually the platform.
Yeah.
So the
So there's only-
So
platform-
right now, there's only one step.
There's only 1 step, so it'd just be 1 more step.
One additional step to what's already there.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all.
Yeah, I'm
wording.
like, I'm a visual person, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, we're-
I'm
we're
trying
3
to
steps.
picture it.
So one more to what's there,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
Do I have a second to that?
Not for me. Vote, but I just don't like it.
We can table it.
Does it have to come from me?
She's not gonna do
She's
it.
yeah. I mean, well, if it's gonna use the same footprint and it's just gonna go up in another step, I mean, I guess I'll second.
What's our?
Is that a motion?
alternative? Yeah, no.
You, okay, then I would,
You second that?
so it's just gonna be an extra step and raise that cement platform. So it's flush when the door opens, it's all level for the person who lives there.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
So it's just gonna be an extra step and raise that cement platform. So it's flush when the door opens, it's all level for the person who lives there.
And add a rail.
And I guess the railing, oh yeah, the railing, right, the side rail.
Is that
but
part of your motion?
As long as it's not
Just
high
the
enough.
handrail.
The handrail, and,
Yep.
you know, but I mean, if it requires a railing, you know, going horizontally, like more railing, I think then they should probably
Yeah,
come back and see
definitely.
us
Yes.
at that point.
Then we need, at that point, we'd have to figure out.
You mean if they need
If
it
we
on
have
the
authority
end?
or.
Like a railing horizontally going around to protect somebody
wraparound
from falling
railing.
off the deck.
Like
Oh,
spindles?
right.
Yeah, or I mean the porch.
Yeah, that's like this much.
Where you
Yeah.
4.5 feet, you said, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then there'd be a little bit on the front too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So what is the, let's clarify, so the motion is just to add the platform within the existing footprint
Mhm.
and overlay over the existing steps with the platform, to have the handrail,
Yeah,
and if it's determined that you need to enclose the porch with further railing due to the height, then you would have to come back to us.
okay.
Can I ask just one more question?
Yeah.
Sorry, but
No.
that step, the one step that would probably be covered because you
Yeah.
need, how far out is that? That front, the very front step at connecting to the sidewalk, how deep is that, would you say?
I'm guessing
Is it like,
it's just like 12 inches or something, but,
so somebody's gonna have to do some cement work or would you cover that all in wood?
I think my plan was just to cover that because you're gaining a whole step, so now you're
Yep.
going over top of
Yeah.
it. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be possible without removing it. Does that make sense?
Right, so you'd have to build 2 wooden steps coming down from the platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm setting a step on top of there.
Sure, yeah, you keep it there and use it
Yeah.
as part of the foundation.
There's no point in ripping that out. I know that.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. No, I was just curious though, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be wood steps then, okay. Hmm.
So are we clarified?
Yeah, I think we're clarified, so.
All right, so do I need to restate?
I think you just restated it.
Okay,
So I think I'm good with that. I have John as number 1 and Mark as number 2, if that's how it stays.
Yeah, I guess I'll, even with the wooden steps, I mean, it's just 2 wooden steps that
Yeah.
are gonna be.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, aye, sure.
Past
the This
It
was one of the
passes.
more interesting
All right,
applications.
so it passes with the conditions that we
And it's gonna be
described in not
dyed,
terribly
stained.
clear terms.
And I'll get them the letter explaining everything we talked about.
What's that gonna do to it?
All
Okay.
right,
Okay,
That's
so,
that.
and it'll be stained like a real neutral color or something?
Yes, I have the color right here for you.
Okay.
It's the one on the right.
Frankly.
Almost might be better, just
Gray.
more stone
Yeah,
color,
the
to
gray
be
would
honest, 'cause,
be less of a-
I mean, it kind of,
Keep
the
the
house is kind of a
gray.
neat
To
little
blend with the
mid-century
stone.
home,
Yeah.
and I think with the stonework and everything,
I mean, that's not something I probably end up getting involved in.
yeah, color is not
Okay.
within, that I know is not within our purview, but just
Mhm.
maybe suggest
we-
that the gray would certainly
blend
be
better.
more
Blend in
attractive
better.
with the stone work that's already on the house.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you have to leave it at, what, a year anyway, because it's treated before they
Yeah,
can
that's
stain
right.
it anyhow.
you'll go from light green to gray.
Yeah.
To yellowish or, yeah, gray. Yeah.
We can add that suggestion into their letter as well.
Okay,
We do that for permits quite often. We can't require, but we can suggest.
All right, next item is old business, of which,
thank you.
thank you, there is none. Next item, commissioner comments. Any comments?
Nope.
Public comments? I see none. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
I'll second
Bye.
it. Everybody seconds that one.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.